Today's video is about how not to treat people who are using your website. I'm using an older web browser, and instead of being told you just can't use our website, it's proving to me that the website owners, in this case a mega corporation called Google, are apparently technically incapable of doing something I can do in fucking Notepad. So here we are with our workspace.google.com Gmail Gemini era AI powered page, where it spends a lot of time trying to get you to do signups. Some of you already figured out what button I need to click to get around this, but let's look at the thing that it does. Now, I want to point out that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, is something you need to add to your vocabulary. This is where you fake having problems with your product and blame it on something. Now, it's not saying I'm using an outdated browser, because it's not even going to bother lying to me, since it isn't outdated. And it's not going to bother lying about it really being the operating system, because it wants to tunnel in. I tried to go to Gmail, and if you hover over it, at the bottom left there, you see it says workspace.google.com/Gmail. Just the same thing up there. So it's a loop. If you hover over sign in, it does accounts and a bunch of other code, but basically it says a specific set of instructions that are separated by a question mark or an ampersand, which I'll bring up in a minute. Now, what do we get? AI-powered email for everyone. What about if we don't want it? And it talks about billions and blah, blah, blah. Now, I want you to look at what the page does. Now, remember, it didn't say that my browser's outdated. It didn't say anything like that. This is a special fail page created to make it appear that my browser did something wrong. If I tell it to lie by using this utility that's called User Agent Switcher, if I tell it that I'm using a newer browser, it will feed me a page that isn't deliberately broken. So either A, this is intentional behavior, meaning they're being malicious, or it's accidental because Google, a mega corporation, can't write a web page correctly. And again, I could sit here and grab all the elements out of this. I could actually do that and build the page better. This would include not using missized and mismatched SVG files. I would use PNGs only. It wouldn't look like some horrible vomit accident or broken style sheet from the era of GeoCities. GeoCities pages are better than this. Okay, let's scroll down. So we have this montage here, splat together picture. And it's probably just a single picture. If I open it in a new tab, it'd probably be a picture. We have the Gemini logo there, which is yet another example of really shitty design these days. Then we get, oh look, text. Right? It's an image. They can't even do normal text. It has to be a picture. Okay. Then we get here where we get something that wants to be clicked. And again, most of this, let me just Control A. Some of it is actually text. Some of it is just pictures. And they're just crammed at every angle. And again, anybody out there, like literally some intern, could have made this page format correctly. Why? The idea is to, well, they're breaking the rules and they're innovating, and no, they're demonstrating incompetence. This is incompetent. If somebody I had working for me took our company webpage and put this shit up on it, I wouldn't fire them. I would make them fix it, and I'd make them put up their face and all of their contact information saying, I'm extremely bad at making web pages. Any one of you out there with a really old copy of, no, not Word, WordPad could have made this page better, okay? I'm not kidding. This is disgustingly bad. Giant buttons where they don't belong. And then, oh, look, proof that they can do a web page reasonably well. Normal HTML at the bottom. Show the world how it's done, Google. Well, you just showed us how not to do it. So anyway, we go up here. If we hover over the sign in, we get a bunch of strings of characters, continue codes, blah, blah, blah. What does that actually break down to? Now remember, this is workspace.google.com Gmail versus accounts.google.com/service login ? Service equals mail. And because I feel like being an asshole, ampersand user interface UI equals HTML, which means it'll go back to the old HTML standard and I'll be able to check my email without it doing any extra shit. Yeah, it's still in there. Why? Because a person working at a bank isn't going to go through this wall of shit when they can just go to their email. Now, I don't know if you know this, but most corporations don't like it when a website tries to infect the browser with AI, demands that you use a more recent version of the browser or operating system that has fewer security patches to it. People running real corporations with real shit to get done don't want it. What do you want to see if you're a technician? This. In fact, the graphic on the upper left actually makes me nervous. If I could make this into a command prompt, I would. If I could replace this with something painfully Linux looking, I would use it. In fact, I don't like the fact that I have to type in my email or phone or whatever here and then have to hit next to get in the password. I want the login and password in that order with a button that says, do it, bitch. And I want it to have a whip cracking noise when it does it because I want it to understand I'm ordering it to do it. I'm not asking it permission. I'm beating it into submission. Again, let's review 2001. When the computer disobeys us or says no, the computer is wrong. And as I'm going to quote one of my favorite lines. This is old and broken, but it's not broken, and I don't give a damn that it's old. And here's the new hotness that absolutely is going out of its way to look broken, shoddy, amateurish, and incompetent. And then suddenly it breaks kayfabe, if you know, you know, and puts up normal web page content proving that this was a deliberate page failure. This is FUD. Or worse, this really is incompetency and the AI utility doesn't know how to edit a web page correctly. So yeah, workspace.google.com/Gmail to push Workspace, Gemini, AI, and when you're trying to do a sign-in, it knows I was trying to sign into my Gmail. It wants to distract me by saying, hey, would you like to sign up? No, I'm trying to log in. I literally used a link that amounted to a login. Meanwhile, this new one that obviously I just jacked from the sign-in button up there, which is, you know, there we are. Yeah, it says continue to Gmail. It says it's an account, Google account service login, and it says for the service is Gmail in this case. That's all you need. You might have noticed this page is extremely not busy. It's not sitting here running code in the background. It's not attacking my computer or probing it to figure out that if it can get away with something. And as my tradition lately of old man yells at Cloudflare, it's not doing any bullshit in the background to confirm anything other than I have a login and password that works. And again, if I can make it to where I had the login and password on the screen at the same time and worked like it did in the old days, I'd do it because it's less likely to fuck it up because my web browser would then take the password and log in, make a temporary hash that would be good for maybe 4 seconds, and then the server at the other end would compare it to the hash it would create from my backup data and say, okay, definitely this is the thing, and it would just be hashes going back and forth. My email address and password wouldn't be leaked. Now, I don't know. I really don't. It doesn't matter if it says HTTPS. We all know that that's not really an important thing anymore. We already know that if you see the word AI on anything, you're being spied on. Oh, and shout outs to all the people at Mozilla who decided to integrate AI long after my computer's too stupid, quote unquote, to ever run AI. Oh, God, no, I wouldn't be too stupid to run AI. So again, trying to make Google Workspace a thing, Google, knock it off, no one wants to. Making Gemini and or AI a thing, nobody wants it, you fucking know it. And a lot of you already figured out that if you work at a company, you don't want it. So this is my message to all of the managers at a business. Are you really so into tech bro hype that you want this kind of shit happening where your website looks unprofessional and unpolished? Or would you like it to work the way it has for, I mean, this is actually somewhat new looking, but this is 30 years of functionality. It's 30 years. Over 30 years of the internet working correctly versus breaking shit on purpose for some reason. So anyway, if you need to log into your email account, it's accounts.google.com/service login question mark service equals mail ampersand UI HTML, and then that should be about it. I have it ampersand ZY equals H simply because of another parameter I put in. But anyway, if you do this, that will scream at Google, I just want my email, get the fuck out of my face, number one. Number two, putting the ampersand UI equals HTML means you're demanding the simple interface, whether they like it or not. And it might let you have it. I've had no trouble. It doesn't run any extra shit. It doesn't give me suggestions and run an AI utility in the background, constantly monitoring my mouse movements and what I'm typing in an email because it's spying. Or dive headfirst into the bullshit at workspace.google.com/gmail. Your choice. Or is it? Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll all need it.